I'm a cat that didn't make a lot of the records that cats made because I was coming from where they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? And there was a big difference in my understanding. And I think that's why I didn't. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, yeah, like when Cool G Rap dropped Rikers Island, I was on Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of things to my walk that you wouldn't know unless you knew me.
There's no way to know that based on the camp you were coming from.
Oh, definitely.
The native tongues, nobody thought that.
Well, you know, but I was also, you know, I was an affiliate of a few though. Like I was DITC on the low. Me and Showbiz had a house together.
Nobody knew that.
Yeah, me and Showbiz had a house. I had the upstairs. He had the downstairs, and that was when I moved from Valentine Avenue. Me and Show got a house. You know what I'm saying? So there was a walk to that. Then I'm also Flavor Unit. You know what I'm saying? I'm out in Jersey running around. That was through Chris Lighty, dropping who's native, but
Rest in peace, Chris Lighty.
Rest in peace. I miss Chris so badly. But I'm just saying, you know, but Chris was a stand-up dude, and when he went to Def Jam, he knew that I would not be, I had to let him know, like, I'm not comfortable going over there with you. You know, I had my issues with Def Jam as far as me meeting Leo and just not believing in him as an entity.
Okay, let's spin up to that. Let's take it from the top, because I don't want to skip any steps in the story like this.
All right. Take you back a little bit.
Where does it begin?
Well, hip hop wise, I'll start it off hip hop wise. Hip hop.
No, give me Dres.
Yeah,
all
right.
Yeah, give me the man himself.
Well, I'm from Astoria Projects. Both my parents are from the Bland Projects in Queens and Flushing, second and third building, and you know what I'm saying. So they were a project love story. My father was a hustler. My mother got pregnant when she was 16. My father was probably about 30. You know what I'm saying? But he was straight up street hustler. Rico Vargas. Entire Vargas family in the Bland, it's not hard to find out. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he did what he did. Like, and he basically held down Flushing to the degree that Nicky Barnes came out from Harlem to try to recruit my father. That my father was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they didn't lock in like that, but just for him to make that kind of offer coming from uptown to Queens, that, you know, my father was making a little bit of noise, so to speak. So, you know, parents, of course, volatile as a my mom's wound up getting married to my stepfather, who just graduated from Pratt Institute in Brooklyn on a basketball scholarship back when Pratt had a basketball team. He graduated from Pratt, goes into the Army. He's a lieutenant. Marries my mom, brings us from Astoria Projects to Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg. That was my introduction to the South. And so I go into a high school called E.E. Smith in Fayetteville. Now, I was really lucky to be coming from a projects to this particular school, because this particular school was probably about 85, 90% black. And it made a big difference in who I was gonna be. Because because I was expecting the racism. I was expecting, this is my word, my first day of school in Fayetteville and in Sanford, my first day, I got in fights. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in New York looking for it. Like the second school, I wasn't necessarily looking for it, but the first one, I was like waiting for the first person to call me boy. Like, you know, like that's just where my head was at. Like, you know, I wish a nigga would call me boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I'm hearing about the South, I'm young from the projects, and I was a real project kid. I'm flipping off the fence on the pissy mattresses. I'm running around, you know what I'm saying, on, you know, when the Con Ed big wheel was, you know, holding the wires, and we used to walk them down the street and shit like that. You know, like I'm a real project kid. Like, you know, like I'm so project at a young age, and the entire projects knew me. And my mom gave me, like I said, she was young, so I ran around way too much at a young age. But I'm the kid that if there's a stray dog, I'm gonna find a rope, put the rope around the dog's neck, and that's my dog. Literally, I'm walking around the projects with my dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the project kid I was. You know what I'm saying? My mom would have to be like, you know, not today, baby. Like, you know, like let the dog go. But that was how project I was. So I get down to Carolina, and it bugged me out because I was really fast. I was a fast kid. I snatched my first pocketbook at 11 years old. Literally. And so when I get down to Carolina, I'm meeting a different kind of black kid. And I was an intelligent kid. My mom, thank God, was very intelligent, you know, and she kind of raised me to be intelligent, very natural, herbalist, all of this shit at a very young age. I'm eating wheat germ. We didn't have sugar. I'm eating wheat germ with honey. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up very, you know what I'm saying? Which, you know, I didn't keep as much of that shit as I should have, but as I got older, I reverted back to it. But just to say, you know, so I was that kid, but I'm peeping sharp black kids. I'm loud and shit like that, and I'm seeing real quick, oh shit, they're not laughing with me, they're laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? And it was a big difference real quick. So I jumped in line. I saw that the coolest thing I could be was smart. Like, oh, these motherfuckers are smart as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I needed to be able to see to compete. I wanted to be smart too. You know what I'm saying? So
I look cool.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it wasn't cool to get kicked out of class. Nobody's laughing at you. You know, like you're not cool. Nobody wants to hang with you after class because you got kicked. Like, being ostracized. The cool motherfuckers were intelligent. And I'm peeping this shit like, oh shit. And it made me emulate what I'm seeing. So yeah, I had this New York side of me, definitely. But I also started trying to just see who I could be. You know what I'm saying? And it just opened me up to school. So I became a really good student.
Where was your pops doing this?
My real father?
Still in touch?
No. No. Like, on some real shit, my father was very volatile. And he damn near was like a pimp. He was a heroin dealer, but he used heroin as well, you know what I'm saying, off and on. And my pops was the type of person whereas my moms couldn't date anyone and he knew it. It was gonna be a volatile situation. Furniture was definitely gonna be moving around. That's just who he was. My pops was so volatile, when they really broke up and they were broken up, before my stepfather comes into the picture, my mom was trying to like not let him in. So he's assuming someone's in the apartment. You know, this is their apartment. They're married and shit, but she's trying to get away. So he's so volatile. We live on the second floor, 2F, 1-05, Astoria Boulevard. And he's so volatile. I remember turning to my mom and saying, Ma, Dad's at the window. He climbed up the projects to the second floor window, and he's trying to come in the apartment through the window. This motherfucker fell. And the ambulance had to come and get him. But that's how volatile he is. He's like, yo, I'm coming in the apartment. Like he climbed up to the second floor and was coming in. Like I'm telling my mom, Dad's at the window.
So your mom was happy to get out the pain.
Yeah, she was. She had enough. She was young, and you know what she idolized at 16, she couldn't stand at 21. You understand? Like, you know, like it is what it is. And, you know, so by this time, my mom's is realizing like, yo, when we go down south, everybody called me Tiki. Tiki, T-I-K-I, that was my nickname. Everyone knew me as Tiki, from Astoria to the Bland, everywhere. When we moved down south, my mom is like, all right, you cannot be in touch with that side of your family at all. No one can call you Tiki. This is when Dres starts and, you know, this and the other. And I'm just like, oh shit, like, you know, like what, you know, like, and me and my father were close. Like my father would take me everywhere. Literally, I've seen my father do way too much shit. And like I literally went to see Fritz the Cat in the movie theater. Like my father really took me to an X-rated movie cartoon. I probably was 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's who my father was. So, you know, so for roughly 9 years or so, no one knew where I was. No one on my father's, no one on the Vargas family, probably like 8, 9 years, no one knew where I was, no one knew anything about what happened. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like probably a little bit before we broke out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get that. But I was in Sanford, first day of school, but it played just how I thought, hey boy, who you?
What, was it another student or a teacher?
Another student, white boy on the basketball court. And I'm not realizing that down south, everybody calls everybody boy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for a white boy to say, hey boy, that was all it took. I snuffed him, like literally on a basketball court. And, you know, and this is back when I really thought I was related to Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? So surprisingly, the white boy had hands. Like he threw something back. And I'm like, oh, hold up. So I'm tying my shoe and he's letting me tie my shoe. I'm like, okay. I'm saying in my head, oh, this motherfucker really gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? I tie my shoe, you know what I'm saying?
This ain't gonna be quick and easy.
Right. Because, you know, like my growing up in Astoria, the few times I had run-ins with white cats, well, us being chased by like the Greeks or the Italians, but never like a one-on-one. I always feel like, man, one white boy can't beat me. You know what I'm saying? That was just my mentality as a youngster. Of course, in life you learn that, you know, men are men and, you know, and such. So, you know, me and this kid go to throw straight up, and I do a roundhouse kick real quick and put my sneaker print right on his cheek. Pow! See it right on, clear as day. And so he's like, oh shit, like I'm in a fight, like, you know what I'm saying? so but like I said,
way you feel.
Right. So, but he was with it, you know what I'm saying? And we went head up, and, you know, it didn't take long. I kind of got the best of him quickly. That's just because I knew how to fight. Like I grew up fighting. I couldn't see my sister fight. I would fight. It didn't matter if you was a guy, girl. If you was fighting my sister, I had to take that. You know what I'm saying? Like I just grew up fighting. You know, that's just what it was.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.